Hello on Monday. I took the weekend off and I didn't really vlog much last week either. That bug took so long to get rid of, and then it kind of then synced into that time of the month, and I just felt like a miserable grot bag, and I just thought I just need some time. How's the washing basket full already? I just need some time to myself, to just trying to get myself right and just not talk to you like a miserable so-and-so. Last week was just a bit of a mad week as well, like nothing major, but just lots of little things on. So like Monday after school, I took Jake to get his flu vaccination, which was bedlam because there was just people everywhere. I think a lot of old people were having their flu vaccination. Someone that's age positive shouldn't really say old people, should they? But hey, you know, just goes to show how ingrained saying things like that is on our psyches. Yeah, so lots of old people were having their flu vaccinations and their COVID vaccinations. And I don't feel like my doctors has ever really recovered since like COVID. Like it was a new, like quite a new building, and when it first opened it was so nice and swishy. And then during COVID they took all the chairs out of the waiting room, and it just looks a mess now. And then scraped my car on the car park because this old man wouldn't move over. Sorry, I'm using the term old again. To be fair, I had a day on Monday where like it was sponsored by people being old and crotchety. Obviously went to forest school on Monday as well, which was ace. Tuesday was work, which is going really well and I'm really enjoying it, but it's crazy because I've kind of come into it straight on a product launch, so there's lots going on. Wednesday was work again, and then I can't remember what I did Wednesday afternoon now, and then took Elliot to tennis, and then Thursday, did we do Thursday? Oh, went out for breakfast with a friend, which was nice, but like, you know, when you like need some catch-up time, I was like, I've booked so many things in. I have no catch-up time. What have I done? And I've done it again because I'm seeing friends this weekend and stuff. But it's that really hard thing, isn't it? I will get used to where the camera is. It's that really hard thing that you need to spend time socialising, but you also just need time to get stuff done. And you also need time with the kids. And you also need time to work because you need to earn money. And when do you fit it all in? It's pretty tricky. So that was Thursday, and then Friday we had gymnastics. Well, Thursday afternoon we went shopping as well, because there always just seems to be loads of bits and pieces that we need to get. Like, Elliot needed to make a well, didn't need to, but there was a scarecrow making competition at school that he wanted to enter. So I went and got like some straw and hay from Pets at Home, which was quite good, because Jake got to go and see the guinea pigs and the bunnies and stuff in there too, so it passed a bit of time. But then I needed to get toothbrushes and some new coat hangers and just really strange things. But every week there seems to be like a collection of odd things that I need to buy. A bit dark in here, isn't it? So I just thought I'd come on and do a quick talky bit. Having one of those mornings this morning. Like, I'm still a bit hormonal, I think, because that doesn't really help. I had terrible cramps yesterday. I spent most of yesterday with a hot water bottle. Move out of the way. There we go. I spent most of yesterday. That was a ball I was talking to, by the way, not my son. I spent most of yesterday with a hot water bottle on my tummy because it hurt. So I'm feeling a bit sorry for myself still. And both the boys, I think, are getting a bit tired again. It's going to get into that point where it's nearly half term and everyone's a bit tired. It's just like things like we put our Halloween decorations up yesterday, and some of them have fallen down. And I had an argument with me this morning because I said, oh yeah, the witch fell off the stairs. And he was like, no, it didn't. And I was like, yeah, it did. It was on the floor. I kicked my cat to bed last night. He was like, no, it didn't. And I was like, why are you arguing with me about whether the witch fell off the wall? I don't understand why this is something to argue about. So it's just a bit like, can we please just not argue over stupid things? Maybe I should just learn to just go, yeah, okay, she didn't. I don't know. I'm not sure what the answer is. But yeah, and then it's just silly things like Jake's trying to lie down to eat his toast. And I'm like, you need to sit up because you're going to choke. It's just like, maybe I just need a little bit of a rest. Maybe. Yeah. So that's, I don't know what to say. That's that. Mad morning. I'm trying to like live by example, like monkey see, monkey do. So to show the kids that you do need to do housework, to sort of show them like doing exercise and stuff like that, so that they know that's normal. But all I seem to be showing them is how to get really stressed trying to shoehorn a million things into your day. Did some yoga this morning, and then I've cleaned the lounge and the conservatory. It's so dirty, like I didn't do it well. Do you want me to have that off you, Jake? I was poorly, and it's amazing how quickly, especially in the autumn. We're gonna get out in a second, sweetie. It's amazing how quickly in the autumn, especially like with the leaves and just mud and stuff, it gets filthy. So I did that, and then it was just like a race against time to get out, because we've got like a little cute Funny Bones event at like a little children's centre to go to. How do people shoehorn everything into the days, or do they just not? I have no idea. Anyway, let's get you into your skeleton costume and let's get going. Hello, hello. It's Monday evening. Had to think then. Oh, I just put BBC iPlayer on the TV, ready to watch RuPaul's Drag Race, because I'm about 3 weeks behind. And I've been met with Jeremy Hunt's face. It's not what anyone wants at like 8 o'clock on a Monday evening, is it? Ooh. So today's been a really nice day for the most part of it. Did the school run, got back with Jakey, ran around like a mad thing doing houseworky bits and whatnot, did some yoga. Then we went to the Funny Bones workshop at like the children's centre, and it was so cute. There was only him and 2 other children there, which was actually perfect for Jake because he's still quite shy. So having a small group just works so much better for him. And he just loved the activities. There was some craft activities, and he was really up for joining in, which he's not always. When he wasn't loud, he nodded as opposed to kind of speaking, which is fine. He'll get there. He'll find his voice. But the fact that he was willing to go up to the lady and even work with her was real progress for him. I'm sure a lot of other kids are the same following lockdown. So if your kid's going through the same, I hear you. If you want to talk about it, feel free to message me. There was like a little activity where they'd buried like pretend like plastic bones from like a skeleton decoration you'd get for Halloween, and they'd put them into sand and then little brushes so they could like find them as if they were like archaeologists. It was so cute. And then some Play-Doh and things. They're apparently doing Christmas ones, Elf on the Shelf, so I'm going to look out for those and get booked on for sure, because Jakey really enjoyed it, and he got a massive piece of cake at the end, which, you know, is always going to please Jake. I was hoping he might not be able to eat it all, and he might have given me a bit. Sometimes he's not that fussed with cake. Not in this instance. He scoffed a lot. And then I was like, oh, he's not going to eat his lunch. Nope. Ate 2 cheese wraps and a bag of crisps. So, yeah, it was really good. Then we popped to Sainsbury's because I wanted to have a look at the Halloween stuff. I got Elliot a new costume because his one from last year is way too small for him. So he's going to be a Ghostbuster this year because he's just totally into Ghostbusters. He's only seen the film once. If you are thinking of showing your child Ghostbusters, just be warned, it is really strange. There's some quite rude bits in it that you may not remember. They probably passed you by when you were a kid, and they will probably pass your child by as well. But just bear in mind that when you watch it with fresh adult eyes, you'll be like, oh, so that's what the ghost was doing. Yeah, so he's got that. And I got some like sweets and stuff for trick-or-treaters just so it's done and dusted. I need some bits and bobs, some more shampoo and things like that. So I tried to get as much as possible. There were still some things I wanted to get. I wanted to get like a Halloween activity book, because we've only got one at the moment. And obviously that causes arguments. I couldn't find one in Sainsbury's, so I'll have to look in Home Bargains at some stage. And I wanted to withdraw some cash because I've never got cash. And at the minute there's activities and stuff that we need cash for. So I didn't get around to doing that. Came back home, had a little bit of time at home. And then went to pick Elliot up from school. Had a big drama at the park, which was totally unnecessary. And I did rant about it when I got home, but I'm not sure if I'm going to include that in the vlog. But I was really quite cross. Not so much about what happened, but about some way somebody spoke to me and the way that they had a lack of empathy for a 3-year-old. Interesting. I find more and more, like, I meet people and I think they're nice, and then as I get to know them, I think, no, you're not who I thought you were. But now I'm in a healthier mind state. Previously, I would have thought it was me, and I would have been like, oh my God, what have I done? And now I know it's just them, and they're just not very happy, and just to stay away from them, and that's fine. They're not my people. I can go make somebody else miserable. Speaking of which, obviously I didn't vlog that much kind of over the weekend. I just edited last week's vlog, and it was a little bit in and out. when I'm very busy, when anyone's very busy, we all struggle. You know, you have things on top of things on top of things on top of things, and you get to a point where you can't take anymore. If you do keep putting stuff on, you burn out. In the last vlog, I spoke a little bit about like the nervous system and about how you've got kind of like this sweet spot in the middle, which is where you kind of want to be if possible. And then you've got this fight or flight section at the top, and then you've got dorsal vagal at the bottom. You do move between all three states, and that's natural, but you want to try and be in this middle kind of happy, calm, collected state as often as possible. Because I come from a background of kind of trauma and a background of stress, this little window at the bottom here is much smaller than somebody who's had a less stressful life, or maybe has been able to deal with stress. Let's not say a less stressful life, but someone that has had the support to deal with stress and to deal with what's happened more easily. So for me, when things are really, really busy, I can get stressed much quicker than maybe somebody else, or I can get very despondent much quicker than somebody else. And previously, I would have just kept going and I would have burnt out, and burnout for me would have been migraines, because migraine was my body's way of telling me to stop. It's also my body's way of telling me danger if I was trying to do something out of the ordinary that it perceived as danger. And so now I'm learning to recognise when I am kind of moving into one of those zones I don't want to be in, and I'm trying to pull back, and I'm trying to sort of rein in my resources so that I've got enough for myself to keep myself going, so that I don't have to stop doing things completely. I can just pause them for a while. So that's kind of why I stepped away over the weekend, because I needed that. And interestingly, with this situation at the park today, like, I was quite happy. I'd had a lovely day. Me and Jake had been to this lovely, lovely event, and then I'd picked Elliot up from school and he was delightful. The sun was shining, we were at the park, and then this thing happened, and I probably went into fight or flight because my child got injured. And when your child gets injured, you go into fight or flight because you don't know what you need to do. And then somebody really wound me up and I got angry, and it's going like this. Now, previously, I would have stayed, to bring my finger back on the screen, although it probably was more up there, in this fight or flight mode for quite a long time. But having done the work I had done on the vagal nerve and my nervous system, I knew that I needed to take deep breaths and extend my exhale for longer than my inhale, and that would bring me back into my middle zone. And don't get me wrong, I'm still really annoyed at what happened. Not so much what happened, but somebody's response to what happened, because it was really rude and really unempathetic, and I thought more of that person. But it just goes to show you never know. But like, I'm not feeling it in my body. So that course I did was really, really good. I'm just editing last week's vlog. Yeah, sort of wanted to say for this evening, really. Just wanted to give you a bit of an update on the day and just talk a little bit about why I was a bit absent last week, and how I'm starting to kind of get a little bit more control on my nervous system, which is massively, massively helping me. So if you have those sort of issues, then I would look up stuff about the vagus nerve or the vagal nerve, and like polyvagal theory and all that kind of jazz, because it's fascinating. Yeah, the yoga this morning helped as well, because I haven't got that far in the book yet, but I was reading The Body Keeps the Score, and then I swapped out to Frankenstein for a little bit for Halloween. But I know there's a whole section on yoga at the end of The Body Keeps the Score, because it's so beneficial for people that have got slightly skewy nervous systems, such as myself. So I'll update on that once I finish reading it. Anyway, I better get editing this, and I need to get Jeremy Hunt's face off the TV, because that is going to just send me into fight or flight again, isn't it, basically? Ugh. Hello on Wednesday. Excuse my face, I only had time for foundation this morning. I'm going to put a bit more makeup on it in a little bit. Still not 100%, you know. It's really annoying me now. I still getting this little sort of, not like a tickle that you can't control, but like almost like a hay fevery kind of tickle. And Mr. H has got it too. It's really annoying. It'll go, I'm sure. It doesn't help when you're a parent that you're running around left, right and centre all the time. So you don't get a chance to kind of like go, ooh, and relax and feel better. Speaking of which, worked this morning, logged off an hour earlier because I did an hour extra last week. And I just wanted to try and get back on top of things in the house. And I feel like I'm always saying this. I feel like instead of doing a little and often, which is where I want to get to, I just end up letting it go to crap. and then having to try and make it look good again. But I can't remember the last time I cleaned the bedrooms. So I'm just having a quick tidy and a quick clean of those and making good use of the extra hour that I've got. I've also kind of looked through half term. It's half term next week, to make sure we've got something kind of roughly planned in for each day. I think it's actually going to be quite a busy one. I'm going to have to kind of like alter my work hours a little bit, I think. And then we've got quite a few days out planned, which is good, actually. It's good. I like to try and get out of the house with the boys at least once a day, because then when you're back in the house, it kind of feels like, how can I put it? You kind of appreciate it. I think a lot of us now from lockdown probably get a slight lockdown like flashbacks if you're in the house too much. Yeah, it's just nice to go out and about and do things. I read a potty training book when I was potty training Jake. I read it with Elliot as well, but I was much more naive first time around. I can't remember what it's called now. It's one of the famous ones. Oh crap, potty training or something like that. I'll have to try and find it out. And it said in there that if you as a parent can't stay in the house for, I think it was like 3 days or something with your child without going crazy, then you need to have a look at yourself, because really you should be able to do that. And I just thought, this is why I struggled with this book second time around, because it's very judgy. The technique that they use to do the potty training is great, but the way that the woman writes it is really judgy. And I just thought, sometimes, especially with 2 boys, you need to get out of the house. 2 boys are sometimes a bit like dogs, where you need them to have a big field and run and get some energy out. So I just thought, go away. It is sometimes hard to stay in the house for that long. We start climbing the walls. And also this book was written before COVID and the pandemic. Before that was like a thing where you had to stay in for weeks on end. So I think you need to revise your book, lady. Anyway, I'm not going to get the housework done by chatting to you, am I? Need to crack on. Let's go. The Dyson kept cutting out on me. I've got one of the old style ones. It's about 7 years old and it's past its best. I'm hoping for a new one from Santa, which says something about being a 42-year-old mum, doesn't it? But my hair, I guess you don't know what hair is, kept getting wrapped around the little twirly thing in the head. So I released that, then it got full, then it got blocked. Oh, hard work. Hoover is, no, Dyson, didn't say Hoover, it's hard work. Right, let's clean this bathroom. Oh, here I am again back at home with a hot water bottle shoved down my top, you can see. My back's a bit achy. Ran around the house like a mad thing, like I always do, doing housework, clean the bedrooms, they were roofy, hadn't done them for a while, and then clean the bathroom, which wasn't so bad actually, and then tidied up, jumped in the car, parked up at school, got Elliot, took him to tennis, got talking to one of the nans of somebody else at tennis, and one of the questions she asked, like, I don't know her, she just started talking to me. One of the questions she asked was, do you have your heating on yet? Like, it was a bit of sort of jokey lilt to her voice. I thought, what has the world come to? That is now like a legitimate question that you ask people And it's almost like a sign of affluence now that if you do have your heating on, oh, I'm getting a spot there, ouch. It's like, oh wow, you can afford to have your heating on, that's amazing. As our system's a little bit broken, it's really old. So when we put the hot water on, the heating comes on automatically too. Which I'm not hating at the moment, I'll be honest, you know, may as well get two for the price of one. We need hot water, so we may as well take advantage of the heating at the same time. However, I needed hot water this afternoon to clean the bathroom. And actually with the heating on, it was a bit too warm because it went quite mild this afternoon. Yeah, came back, had ready meals, and now I'm literally just logging on for work. Kind of hoping I don't have any meetings tonight. 1, because I'm a little bit tired. 2, because I've got a load of meetings tomorrow night. And 3, I'm kind of, there's something I'm working on, and I could just do with like a big chunk of time just to work through it really like systematically without any interruptions. So hopefully no one's put any meetings in that I need to attend. There wasn't any in earlier, so that would be good if it stays that way. And then I've also been planning like what we're going to get up to over half term. Finishing that kind of shizam off. Also had to join Jakey into British gymnastics, which seems bizarre when he's 3. So he's a fully bona fide gymnast now as far as I'm concerned. I think it's just an insurance thing. Yeah, so that's been my day. It's not massively exciting, but you know, it's my day. This is what days are like. Bonjour. On Thursday, I need to go out. I need to go on a little mission to get some things. And it's peeing down and I'm procrastinating and sitting on the sofa. Not good, is it? Plan for today is to head into town, get some Halloween bits, get some Christmas bits. I was looking up the organised mum method, kind of getting organised for Christmas. So I'm going to try and tick some actions off her action plan. Need to get some cash because I've never got any cash. I keep going to say I never have any cash like the Queen, and that just doesn't seem like an appropriate thing to say anymore. I want to go and get some tickets for a bonfire event that's near us. Get Jakey for nursery. Not sure what to do with Jakey this afternoon. And I've got the dentist later on today. I don't enjoy the dentist. I don't really like having my teeth touched. That's probably weird. That's probably stemmed from somewhere. I think it may have stemmed from when I was little. I used to go to like a children's dentist. I don't know if it was just a thing of the 80s or what it was, but it was like at what was then the children's centre, I think. And I know during my last appointment with her, when I was like then going to be too old to see the children's dentist anymore, and would have to move to a more grown-up dentist. My teeth had come through a bit weird at the back, like my molars. So my molars had come through, but I still had little chunks of baby teeth around some of them. I don't know if that's a normal thing. I'm sure I'll find out soon enough. And they were obviously quite loose. And this dentist lady just went, oh, we'll get those out, being it's your last visit. And she just literally got like the little spiky thing they use in your mouth and just started pinging them all out, which didn't massively hurt, but was a shock. And they were like literally pinging all around, not literally all around the room, but you know what I mean? Like pinging more than you'd expect a tooth to ping. So it may well have stemmed from there. So yeah, I don't particularly like the dentist. I've got to go because dental crisis in the UK, and we have no NHS dentist at my dentist at the moment. But if I don't go and see somebody, then I get taken off the NHS like register. So they've got like a locum dentist in just to make sure that you have an appointment to keep you on the register. So I dare say they're just going to look in my mouth and go, yeah, we've got teeth, that's fine, you've been seen, just to keep me on the register, because I doubt they want to create more work for themselves. Or maybe they do, maybe they want the money, I have no idea. But I imagine they've got a big backlog of patients to see. So yeah, I think I need to stop talking and start doing, don't I? I'm back. Some would question whether I actually went anywhere, because I'm in exactly the same place as I was before. Just thought I'd quickly show you what I bought. Went to Home Bargains and got some Halloween activity sticker book things. They're only 79p and they're great. We had one from a few years ago that Elliot was never that bothered with. And then Jake discovered it this year. And Jake was colouring it in. And then it was like, that's mine. And I was like, never bothered with it a previous year. So I thought, I'll get 2. They're only 79p and they'll be good for over the half term. Like when I'm preparing meals and stuff, they can have one each. They can colour and sticker and do puzzles to their heart's content. Keep them occupied. I've got Jake, his Paw Patrol Halloween costume, which I think is quite expensive. £15 for a children's Halloween costume seems quite expensive to me. But I got a bit of mum guilt about him always having hand-me-downs, and he loves Paw Patrol, so I just went for it. What else have I got? Vitamin tablets for Jake, or vitamin gummies for Jake. Vitamin gummies for Elliot. Coffee for Mr. H. Kitchen bin bags. Vitamin gummies for me, because I'm basically a child. A lip balm, I've got one in my bag at the minute, but I want one upstairs as well. I do tend to use, what's the nipple cream called? I want to say Nappy Sam, but that's not right. That's the stuff you put in when you do the washing. Laniso. I do tend to use that because I've got some left over from my breastfeeding days. However, I find in the cold weather, especially in the morning, it kind of solidifies, so it's quite hard to get out tube, and I'm in a rush in the morning, so I've gone for something I can just quickly slick on. I did also get another lipstick as well. It's worn off now, but I do like this shade. This is Max Factor in Simply Nude. I had to go to like 3 shops to get this. No, 4 shops to get this. Nowhere had it. So I hope they're not going to discontinue it, because I've literally just found it. And again, I've got one in my bag, but I want one upstairs, so I can put a slick of it on when I get ready. And apart from some stuff that I can't show you because it's like Christmassy related, and I'm not sure who watches these videos, that's all I got. Also went to get a ticket for a bonfire event that we want to go to. And now I've got about an hour. I'm going to have a coffee and try and get some admin bits and bobs done. I really would like a nap, to be honest, but that's not going to happen. I think I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to do a little bit of the organised mum method for getting organised for Christmas this year, just to make sure everything goes smoothly and it's not like a last minute panic. I'm quite a few weeks behind. Then we don't have a massive Christmas, like it's just the 4 of us, and I don't know if I'm just a bit of a Scrooge, but I kind of, it's just a big roast dinner, isn't it? Big roast dinner with a fancy pudding. I used to kind of like buy into all the, you know, the good housekeeping recipes and making your own decorations, you know, fancy Shazam. And now I'm just like, do you know what? I'm going to go on to bed happy, and I've got some Baileys, then that's all that matters, isn't it, really? But one of the things she said to do, which is quite a good idea, is give your freezer a bit of a sort out. Get rid of anything that's out of date, and use up anything that you can to create some more space in your freezer, so you've got space for food. Again, we don't need a massive amount of space really, because there's only the 4 of us. But Lidl have got some good frozen vegetables and frozen like roast potatoes and stuff. So don't know, do we get some of those for Christmas or not? Oh, tripping over a balloon. Either way, I'm going to have a quick tidy out because I haven't sorted out our freezers for a long time. So it'll be interesting to see what's in there. Sorry, I'm probably giving you complete seasickness, but I'm trying to multitask and I need my tripod. So I was gone to get it. We do have 2 freezers as well. So again, we probably don't need that much space because of that. But things like getting a nice roulade or a nice dessert, you want some space to put that in. And the sooner we can get it, the more we can spread the cost, and it's done then, isn't it? I'm going to fix this and I'll be back. I'm back. I so want an actual vlogging camera rather than doing this on my phone, because I have to put it on the tripod, whereas obviously a vlogging camera's got like a flat bottom, a bit like me, that I could stand up on things. So, you know, if anyone wants to gift me a vlogging camera, that'd be great, thank you. Let's see what's in this freezer. Freezer of doom. Top drawer, we've got ice cubes, some frozen lemon, some frozen ginger, and the 2 little ice packs to put in Elliot's lunchbox when it's warm. So that's fine. Do you know what? I don't think that's that bad at all. Like, yeah, there's stuff that we could eat up and get rid of, and I'm going to try and do like a quick meal plan for next week maybe to use some of those things up. But in terms of like having to create loads of space for stuff for Christmas, I don't think it's going to be an issue, really. I don't think we'll be wanting ice creams that much as the weather gets colder, so as they get eaten up, I'm sure they won't get replenished. That'll be some space. Obviously 2 bags of sweet corn, so we can use those up. I think that's actually quite tame for a family of 4. So that was quite a quick job. Do you remember the routine planners that I did for the kids a while back? The kids loved them. They did help us get a bit more organised in terms of like routines and stuff. But these little sticky bits and the associated blue tack just got everywhere. I've got so many blobs of blue tack on my yeah, I've got so many blobs of blue tack on my carpet now from where they've like taken the sticky bits off because they completed that, which is great. I get that that's what they want to do, but not with the blue tack everywhere. And then you'd have to be able to find the little cards. So, oh, a minute, trying to sort out my printer at the same time. I need more hands. I've come up with a different idea where we can still utilise them, but I'm kind of like copying them onto one piece of paper. So instead of having like a flappy bit, where's the printout gone? Where that printout's gone, but they're kind of printed onto the paper. So we'll see if that works any better. I'm back in my caddies now because we've been doing painting. Went to get Jacob from nursery. He'd had 2 lunches at nursery, 2 lots of spaghetti bolognese. And then when he got back, he wanted scrambled egg on toast as well. So I think he may be going through a growth spurt somehow. Also, I'm clearly tired because I was talking to another mom outside of the nursery door, which is lovely because I don't know anybody. I used to know a lot of the parents with Elliot, but because of COVID, I've not really met anybody. So I don't really know that many people there. And then I was like, oh, I haven't got your water bottle, Jake. Went back, I went, oh, can I have his water bottle, please? And the lady was like, it's under your arm. I was like, oh, clearly I need some more coffee. So we've just been doing painting. When will this go live? Hopefully the weekend. If you're looking for an easy half-term painting activity, orange paint in a little paint tray, and then cut an apple in half, leave it on a bit of kitchen towel with the inside side facing onto the kitchen towel, just so it dries some of the moisture out of the apple a little bit, just so the paint sticks to it better. And then you just pop the apple into the paint and then use it to stamp on a piece of paper, and it kind of gives you a pumpkin kind of shape. To be fair, Jake's kind of painted over the ones this time, which is fine because that's completely age appropriate for him to want to express his artistic temperament in whichever way he desires. We did do it last year as well, or maybe the year before, probably last year. So I've got some pictures of that on the wall, which I will show you. He's now doing some stamping. I've just forgotten, like, at this age, they're just like constant input. And I think when they go to nursery especially, they're so used to having like access to so many different activities that when they get home, they're like, what are we doing now, Mum? What are we doing now? What are we doing now, Mum? What are we doing now? So yeah. This is the finished article. I say we have got one on the wall from last year, but I think that looks a bit, at the time you could tell like the pumpkin shapes were quite differentiated on it, but less so now. So this is Jakey's. He's got some handprints, and then this was 2 stamps. You can just about make out where they were, and then he's kind of like painted over them, and then done another handprint and a fingerprint. And this is one that I did, so Jakey's put some handprints on mine as well, which actually look quite good because they look quite spooky, don't they? And then I did some fingerprints because he painted the apple, so it was quite messy, so I used the excess to do some fingerprints. And then these are the little apple prints that you get from them, and they look a bit irregular but a little bit cool, turn into little pumpkins. Obviously I was just using up excess paint that was on it, so it looks much better if you're using it kind of fully loaded. But yeah, just a nice easy craft. And in other news, Liz Truss has just resigned, and I can't say I'm sorry to see the back of her. What a pile of uselessness. Like, yeah, it's embarrassing for the country, it's embarrassing for women, it's embarrassing for her. What was going on there? What was going on? I can't help but feel that she was placed in that role for a strategic reason, knowing that she wouldn't last long, so that the Conservatives could do something else. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure what the game plan was or is, or even if there is a game plan, but I just feel a bit suspicious. But then I don't think, even if that was a game plan, they expected it to descend into the chaos that it did. So yeah, hurrah, goodbye Liz Truss. definitely drink to that, even if it is just coffee. Very happy, is he?
No, he's grumpy.
He's grumpy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to hear about Jeffrey, but there was no Jeffrey. Thomas had made him up. Next, Thomas was passing the steamworks. "Hello, Thomas," said Victor. "Tell me about Jeffrey. Is he a steamy?" That's right," Thomas mumbled. "He's a big red steamy from the mainland." And Thomas... Hello on Friday. I feel like I always look a bit worse for wear on a Friday. That's because I feel a bit worse for wear. I was up till late working last night. I love my job. This time difference can make it a little bit tricky sometimes. And there was some stuff I had a lot of meetings last night, but there was some stuff I also really needed to get done. So I ended up being logged on till... Don't press any buttons, please, Jake. I ended up being logged on till about... I can't remember what time I finished now. Forgotten. 11:15, something like that maybe. I've logged on a bit today just to make things work with time difference. It's going to take a bit of getting used to, but we will get there with it. This morning we've just played a little bit, haven't we, Jakey? It's Elliot's last day of term, so he's gone and dressed in his Ghostbusters costume and bumped into his friend on the way into school who's also wearing a Ghostbusters costume. So they're like massively excited about being Ghostbusters all day. Sorry, Jakey's in my car pressing all the buttons. We've done some drawing. Have we done drawing this morning? Yeah, drawing, Duplo, different things. And then we're just waiting to go into gymnastics. You've got a party today, haven't you? So that's a bit exciting, isn't it?